Katie Kelly with Long and Foster Real Estate, here with Lori Orders of By the Bay Designs, bringing you another happy hour haven. Today we have a super fun topic of fabrics.
One of my favorites.
Yes, fabrics are an easy way to add a lot of style to your house. It's not always cheap to do it, but it's simple.
It's simple and it's less expensive than a new sofa or chairs or a rug.
Right.
Normally.
Yes, and that's a good thing to do, actually. Compare recovering or adding some pillows to an old sofa versus buying
a new one.
All right.
Yep.
So we have some fun examples of fabrics because it can be a little bit tricky to know how to pick fabric or where to go to find fabric or even how to just figure out how to get a pillow made or a chair covered or whatever.
Right.
So give us some tips first, and I personally love picking fabric too, on where you start picking fabric.
Okay, that's a great question. And a lot of people do find this a little more difficult than other things. And so let's see, where do I want to start? So basically you need to kind of take a base color. So I would suggest starting, if you were going to do your family room, maybe take the color of your rug or sofa and then kind of pull from there.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, you had a navy blue sofa and a off-white beige rug. Okay. I would go into a store or even go online, or obviously you can meet with a designer who have fabric trade set up and start kind of searching those colors. And I think where the tricky thing comes in is when people try to combine a pattern or a stripe with a solid. And so that oftentimes is where people run into trouble. But I have some examples where I can show you that it's not as hard as it seems.
Yeah, really, if the colors all mesh together, you can do a lot of fun kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. And for inexpensive. I would say for a custom pillow, it's going to cost you anywhere between $75 and $100. And that would be done, complete, put on your sofa or your chair.
And one thing I've noticed about when you have custom fabric, it's something that, it's almost like what we talked about with trim. It is something that even if people can't say what it is in a space, it's like just makes a space look really cool and unique and kind of gives your personality as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely tell the difference between a custom pillow and the way a room is set up using custom fabrics versus someone that just goes into Home Goods and grabs pillows. Right. Now, I'm not knocking Home Goods. I love it.
Right.
And we can certainly do that,
purpose,
but it serves its purpose. But you can normally, I would say, 9 out of 10 times tell the difference.
Yes, I just did this with Lori's help, and it is so fun.
It looks fabulous. Yeah, it really does. So on that note, I'm just going to give you a couple examples, and I'll kind of show them, and you guys can kind of, get an idea. So here is one kind of color scheme that's kind of like a beige and like a seafoam green and a turquoise. So it's 3 different patterns, but they're all cohesive. So that's one example.
Yeah, so there's no solid in that whatsoever.
No solid in that. And another example, very similar, just another palette, is more of like a green and a off-white and a beige is this one. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you see those all, again, look fabulous together. And then here is one a little bit different with navy blue. And you could do one of 2 things here. I'll kind of show you what it looks like. Okay, so you've got a solid white, which is up here, a fish pattern, and then another pattern. So you could actually do these 3, but you could also swap out this solid here and throw in a blue. And then oftentimes I like to get fun with the pillows and I will pipe them in a contrasting color.
Yeah.
So for example, if you were gonna go with this blue, I might take like a stark white and pipe it in the white, or even pipe it in like a deep navy blue.
Or what about, like, could you be fun and I would do like coral? See, I'm a little bit more
right. You could do that. You could pull in
crazy than you.
Yeah, right. Yep, I'm more matchy.
Yes.
And then the last example pulls in a stripe. So you've got a stripe with, again, some blues, whites, and your coastal kind of teal green, and then the navy. So that's another example of combining fabrics.
And one thing I notice, and even when I'm choosing my own fabrics, a lot of times I'll just start with something that I just love.
And then work from there.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
But even if it's not a solid, you don't maybe do 3 florals. You do a geometric and a floral.
Exactly. Like a solid, a geometric, a stripe,
Right.
pattern and then like something else,
Yeah,
right?
and,
Yep.
and then piping is really
Piping
good.
is really fun, right? Yep.
And this can go for window treatments and
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, usually, yeah, you have made a good point. Just start with a base. Like pick one fabric that you like. For example, let's just say that you really, you know, like I love fish. Let's just say you like this. And then pull from that, whether it's pulling another navy, piping it, or even like you said, getting a fun color like coral or lime green would even look good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. All right, there we go. Fabric, all sorts of ideas. I know Lori's done a ton. We've done a ton with fabric. A good way to spend some money in design.
Absolutely. It goes a long way. It looks great.
All right, let us know if you have any questions. There's another Happy Hour Haven. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.